Welcome to TechieTalkee. Subscribe to my channel to get alerts on new videos on data science. Hello friends. In this video, we are going to understand about one of the advanced indexing techniques, which is integer array indexing. So I had already released videos on the basic indexing. So basic indexing occurs when the data that we try to fetch is a tuple object. So basic indexing always returns a view of that array. In case of advanced indexing, whatever data that we are trying to select is a non-tuple sequence object. So what happens in this case is that a copy of that data is returned as against the basic indexing that returns a view of that array. Advanced indexing is of two types, which are integer array indexing and Boolean array indexing. And in this video, our focus will be on the integer array indexing. Let's start with a very basic example on 1D array. So in this example, I'm creating an array from 50 to 1 and the step value is going to be -5. So the array that I have created is what got printed here, which is from 50 to 5. And to fetch the random values from this array, I can use the integer array index where I can say print ARR1, which is actually holding this particular array. And inside that, I can give the index values 3, 3, 1, 8. So 3 meaning the third index. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So 35, 35, 1, which is 45 and 8. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 10. This is how I can retrieve values from a 1D array using the integer array index. How am I going to fetch values from a 2D array? So consider this example where I'm going to generate an array from 1 to 60 with a step value of 2. And the shape of that array is going to be 6 rows and 5 columns. Next, I'm printing the dimension of the array, which says it is a 2D array. And when I print the array altogether, it is going to print me the values of that array in 6 rows and 5 columns. So from this 2D array, how am I going to get the values using the integer array index? So I'll give array1 of, and then I'll have to give two values because it is a 2D array. In the first parameter, we'll have to specify an array of index values of the rows, and in the second parameter, we'll have to give the array of index values of the columns. So the data retrieval is going to be the row with the index 1 and the column with the index 2 will be my first value. So the row with the index 1 is this row and the column with the index 2 is this column. So my first value is going to be 15. And that is what got printed here, 15. The next value is going to be the row with index value 2 and the column with index value 3. So the row with index value 2 is this and the column with index value 3 is this. So 27 got printed. Next, the row with index value 3 and the column with index value 4. The row with index value 3 and the column with index value 4 is 9. So the basic expectation is that for this integer array indexing, the number of index arrays should match with the array dimension. Meaning, if it is a 2D array, I'll have to give two sets of values, and if it is a 3D array, I'll have to give three sets of values. In this print statement, there is a mismatch in the shape of the index values, meaning the shape of the first index value is 3, whereas the shape of the second index value is only 1. So what happens is that numpy attempts to broadcast this to the same shape as that of the first index value. So the broadcasted value will be something like this, where numpy treats the single value to be 2, 2, 2. So the data retrieval will happen accordingly. So the first value is going to be the row with index value 1 and the column with index value 2. So row index value 1 and the column index value 2 is 15. Similarly, the next value is going to be the row with index value 2 and the column with index value 2. Row index value 2 and column index value 2 is 25. And next, we have row index value 3 with column index value 2, which is 35. So 15, 25, 35 got printed in my output window. And this is how numpy broadcasts the value if the shape of the index value does not match in both the parameters. But broadcasting cannot be done for the index arrays which has a mismatch in the shape. That is, the shape of the first index value is going to contain 3 values, whereas the shape of the second index value is going to contain 2 values. So an index error exception is raised. The broadcasting mechanism helps to combine an index array with a scalar value. So in this example, I have given np.array of 1, 2, 3, 1, and here 1 is a scalar value. So numpy broadcasts this 1 to an array index and it retrieves the values from the row index 1, 2, 3, but the column index is all going to be 1. So that is why we are seeing 13, 23 and 33 as the output when we combine an index array with a scalar value. Now let's look into the 3D array. Here I have created a 3D array with the values from 1 to 18 and the shape is going to be 3 rows and 3 columns. This is the 3D array that I have created. To retrieve the values from this 3D array, I'll need to pass 3 values here for the array index. The first value is going to be the 2D array with the index 0 and the row index 0, column index 1. So this is the 2D array with the index value 0. The row index 0 is going to be this row and the column index 1 is going to be 2. And this is how 2 gets retrieved here. Similarly, the 2D array with the index value 1. So this is going to be the 2D array which I'm going to refer to. And the row index is going to be 1, which means I'm going to check at the second row. And the column index is going to be 2, which means I'm going to refer to the last column. So 15 will get retrieved. And that is how 2 and 15 gets retrieved from this 3D array. Let's look at few more examples. My array is going to be a 3D array with the values from 0 to 50 and the shape is going to be 5 rows and 5 columns in each 2D. This is how the 3D array will look like. In my first example, I've given an index array where I've given 3 values. So the first value is going to be retrieved from the 2D array with the index value 0 and the row index to be 1 and the column index to be 2. So this is going to be the 2D array with index value 0. The row index 1 will refer to this row and the column index 2 will refer to this column. So 7 will get printed for the first value. Similarly, the second 2D array, row index 2 and the column index 3. Row index 2 and column index 3. So 38 gets printed. And the second 2D array, the row index 3 and column index 4. So 44 will get printed. Now what if I give only one value in the second parameter for the array index? In that case, numpy broadcasts this value to match the shape of the other index arrays. So the value in this case is going to be 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2 and 2, 3, 4. So the first 2D array with the row index 2 and the column index 2. So the value is going to be 12. We see 12 here. Next, the 2D array with the index value 1. So which is going to be the second 2D array and the row index 2 and the column index 3. Row index 2 and the column index 3 is going to be 38 and this is how the value gets retrieved here from the 3D array. Same is the case if I give only one index value as the third argument also. So in that case, numpy internally broadcasts the value where it will indicate that the column index for the other two values are also going to be 4 and the value gets printed in my output window. Hope you have got a clear picture about how integer array indexing works in numpy. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any queries, you can reach out to me at techietalkie@gmail.com. Happy learning and have a great day.